Okay, so we can go through here and take a look at some of this. So on number 4 here, it looks like, let's see, the range. So if you look right here, the range is the y values. It goes from -1 and then it goes up. So the lowest y value is -1. Seems like you basically gave the opposite. You gave from negative infinity all the way up to, I guess, +1 actually up here. Let's see, question 5. Let's see, so the domain is from left to right. And so we're going from 0 to 3 right here. So you just want to go from left to right. So include 0, but not including 3. See, the y-intercept is at -4 right there. It hits the y-axis at -4. See, question number 8. Okay, this was the big one. So let's see, the range would be, it goes down indefinitely right here. So see the y values, it doesn't stop at -6, it just keeps going down from negative infinity, and it peaks up here at 3. And then it starts to go back down, but that, that's part of the values that were already covered right here. Let's see, the zeros are at -2 and then at 4. That's basically asking for the x-intercepts. And then at 3.5, let's see, probably gotta make this a little bigger. So there's 1, 2, there's 3. So 3.5 is right here in the middle. So f of 3.5, let's see, they put that at 1. Let me see, let me make sure I'm reading this right. Let's open this into a bigger window. There we go, that makes it a little bit easier. So at 3.5, okay, right there, correlates with 1 right there. All right, let's see. Increasing, so it's increasing. So basically you just give the domain for where the graph, the y values are rising. So from negative infinity, basically this thing, if you were to continue it down, it's increasing from left to right. It's increasing until you get to 1, and that's where it stops increasing. So from negative infinity to 1, and then it's going to decrease from 1 to 4, which we have right there. Let's see, we don't have a smallest value, but we have a maximum value, and that's going to be at 3 right there. So they're referring to the highest y value. So there isn't a lowest y value because it goes down indefinitely to negative infinity, but it peaks at 3 right there. So that's where they get that maximum value. And then it says f of x equals 3 where x equals. So they're basically telling you y equals 3 where x is 1. So the y value, which actually kind of goes with the previous question, the highest y value is 3, and that occurs when x equals 1. That's what this part is asking you for. Then it says f of 2 is a positive result, which looks like you got that. That's fine. Okay, let's see. Moving on to question 10. Let's see. Okay, so this can be a little tricky, but so we're basically saying we want to we want to graph 5x as long as the x values are less than or equal to 0, basically as long as they're negative or 0. And so that gives you this graph right here. So we'll go ahead and open that up. So right here, this is the line for 5x. For any negative x values are for 0. So that's why it's a closed circle right there. And then the other one, if it is greater than 0, then it just is at 2 right here. So apparently the y-axis is going by factors of 2. And so sometimes it's kind of hard to see, especially on these small graphs. So enlarging it might help some to see that. And then the range for this is from negative infinity to 0, and then there's nothing between 0 and 1, and then at 1 it picks back up. The y value 1 is covered up but then nothing higher than 1 is covered. So, or I'm sorry, 2. Sorry, I'm reading the scale factor wrong. So at 2, right up there at 2, and then nothing above it. So yeah, you gotta be a little careful on these. Okay, let's see, 12. Okay, so this is where we have our transformation. Once again, these are pretty small, but if you enlarge them, it shouldn't be too bad. So this is going to cause us to shift to the left 1 unit. Then that causes a reflection right there. And then you're going to move up 2 units. And so that's how they got D right there. So we moved to the left. So what I would have done, you could have basically picked out a couple of these points and followed the transformation. So actually, let me just enlarge this. Okay, so let's see. This is going by factors of 1 and 1. Okay, that's good. Okay, so right here, this would cause me to shift to the left 1, that +1 right there. Then I'm going to have to reflect across the x-axis. So I'm up here now, and then I'm going to go up 2. So I end up at the point -2, 4. And so then I'll look at my answer choices. Obviously not A right here, right? Because -2 up 4, that point's not there. B, that one looks kind of close. I might have to enlarge that to kind of look at that one. C, no. And then D, yeah, that one looks pretty good too. And so if you look at that, it's over, I'm sorry, it should be over 3. Yeah, over 3, reflect across, and then go up 2. So it should, I'm sorry, it should be at -3 up. See, -3, let me see. So we go over, we reflect, and then we go up 2 more. So yeah, so it should be at -3 up 4, which that's what you can see on D right there. And then you could try it with the other points, and they're going to end up where all those points lie on D. Okay, let's look at 13. Okay, so this one's the square root function. So you want to start with the square root function, which you kind of look at those 3 original points and then move them the way the transformation is. So this graph would have originated right there at the origin, and then you're going to go left 4 up 5. So you can see you go left 4 up 5, and that's how that point ended up there, and that's how your other key points also moved. All right, let's see, 14. Okay, looks like okay, so here that's going to cause us to move horizontal transformation left 1. So there's the check. You got that. That's good. And then you're going to reflect across the x-axis. Very good. You got that. And then the vertical transformation is at +5. And so once again, you'd want to look at the original function right there. F of x is equal to the absolute value of x, which is that little v graph. And so let's go ahead and enlarge that. So if I move to the left 1, so originally I'd have like a V shape right here at the origin. I'd go left 1, then I'd reflect down to where it'd be like this, and then I'm going to go up 5, and that's where I end up right up here. Okay, let's look at 16. Okay, here it must have just been some, I think you had told me in the email that you had run out of time or something. Basically, pretty simply, just plug in 2 and do the algebra. Same thing with the other one. And then let's take a look at the last one. I think you were concerned about the sign right there. So the issue with the radical sign is, see, it should have been extended, or I'm sorry, it should not have been extended over the whole thing. And so whenever you do a radical sign like that, it looks good. The 5th root looks good. Once you're done inside there, you need to arrow to the right to get out of there, and then put the -2. So whenever you're solving your finding the inverse, you switch these, so this would become x equals y, right? And so you would have to 5th root both sides, and so that's where the 5th root of x comes from, and then you'd have y + 2. then you subtract 2 from both sides, and that's how you end up here. So I'm not sure if that was a typo or if you accidentally meant to do that, but yeah, it needs to, the -2, you don't want that to be part of the radical sign there. So I hope this helps you out. Feel free to send me any questions you have.